Welcome to night 2 of the 7th annual Artivist Film Festival, the only festival dedicated to raising awareness for animals, humanity, and the environment, sponsored by Petrobras. On the big screen tonight is How Weed Won the West, and there are several great organizations here in support of that film, and let's go talk to them.
We are a organization that's a nonprofit based out of Maryland, and it is an international organization that is made up of not only community members but mainly retired law enforcement, active law enforcement. We have state, federal, local judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, politicians, and community activists who all believe, as we do, that the war on drugs is a failed policy.
Oaksterdam University teaches people to be safe and responsible in the cannabis industry. As a new industry that's evolving, it's important for people to be educated about the laws, about the politics, about the science of how how cannabis impacts the body, and how to really just be part of the solution as we move forward.
The Drug Policy Alliance is represented in this film, and our perspective about how we need to shift the nation's drug policies from ones that overemphasize criminal justice solutions to the harms that are raised by drugs and drug prohibition, to health-centered approaches to drugs, not locking people up but giving people the help that they need.
The message that I like is what the Drug Policy Alliance did. Ethan Nadelman, which is drugs are harmful. I'm a libertarian. I don't care if someone smokes pot, as long as you don't get in a car and hurt someone else. In 22 years of law enforcement, I never went to a house where someone who's under the influence of pot beat the bejesus out of their wife or kids or molested them. I find that marijuana is much less harmful, but I also believe that it should be tax controlled and regulated, very similar to alcohol. What our goal is as LEAP is that we would like to see all drugs, not just marijuana, but all drugs, treated as a public health policy, and for dollars used taken from law enforcement to educate and prevent drug usage.
One of the things that I think the film captures is the spirit of the cannabis community, and especially the spirit around safe access and how important it is to protect and preserve and advance safe access for the patients who need it. The thing about medical marijuana is that the people who really need it and need access to places like medicine dispensary collective are the ones who really can't grow their own medicine. So they're the ones who are debilitated to the point that they can't even maybe go out of the house. And so these establishments need to be protected and advanced. And so the showcasing of the fight that is happening between the people who are providing the medicine, the local authorities, the state authorities, the federal government, all of that, it really articulates that and shows the breadth of that very well.
Films like How Weed Won the West are incredibly important because they illustrate the enormous diversity of the issue of marijuana prohibition and all of the different people who come together to fight the failed, punitive, racist war on drugs. This tells a piece of the story about marijuana as it is today, which is extremely complicated because it is both an issue that impacts an enormous number of sick people who are still being persecuted for use of medical marijuana. It tells the story of the burgeoning industry of both medical marijuana and obviously recreational marijuana, which is California's #1 cash crop by far. It's a $14 billion industry.
As an American, I'm an immigrant. I was born in Mexico City. I hold dual nationality. I'm appalled that our drug policies are having an international impact across the world. And I think that's part of the reasons why politicians on the federal level are so against it, because they clearly understand that it's going to impact current American policy.
We are on the brink of so much in our world. We could go in a good direction and we can go in a really bad direction. And so it's really important that everyone wake up to their activist potential. And I think one of the key ways to do that is through art. The activists who are kind of like angry and rightfully so, right? People who are angry are often rightfully so, but what that does is it kind of turns people off and it overwhelms them and they can't absorb it. And so when you do it through a medium like art and through film and through artistic expression, it can actually break through the resistance that people have to looking at the things that make us a little uncomfortable and looking at the things in which we need to fix. You know, we need to fix our environment. We need to fix our policies that are incriminating, you know, people who are upstanding citizens otherwise. And so it's really important that people engage, and I think Artivist is a mechanism to do that.
The documentary form, nonfiction film, in and of itself, is always a part of contemporary social movements. So the fight to end the failed drug war is going to have a film and culture component to it inevitably. It is going to spread the word, and it is going to give voice to all the issues and inform people who knew nothing about these issues and realize their personal connection to it. But more than that, films like this and festivals like this make the invisible visible. They give a voice, they give a face, they create community, and they help people realize the connections that exist across art and politics and activism. And it gives meaning to people's lives, helps them meet people, helps them realize that they can make films as well and that they can change the world.